Hey guys, welcome back to some more water tanks with defined hairs. And as I promised from last video, I will do an episode on Wednesday. Now, I did say I was going to do a review on E50M, and I'm going to keep up to that. And before the video starts, if you do want to see more water tanks content or some more stuff like water tanks, by all means hit the subscribe button. I'll be uploading at least every Wednesday and maybe every Saturday as well. If you guys like the video, please hit the like button. It shows me your support. And if you want to see tell me what you want to watch next, what review, put that in the comments below, and don't forget to put your question for the Q&A that's going to be happening next week on Wednesday. Now, before I get to the actual review of the water tank, of the E50M, I want to see why I like it. Now, the reason I like the E50M quite a bit is because it represents sort of my playstyle in every single game. Which is basically, at first, be one of the most humble fighters, is be as a bit of a sniper at the beginning, and in the end, just come in, ram anything you want, just completely destroy what you see in your sight, and just cause a lot of mayhem. And E50M completely suits that. Now, its biggest, actually, it doesn't even have a biggest rival. It has many rivals in the tier 10 category. For example, it has the FE422, as I said in my last episode or last video. There are a lot of tier 10 mediums, and tier 10 mediums are pretty much used for all clan wars. For example, Germany gets the Leopard 1 and the E50M. Russia gets the Object 430, the T628, and the Object 140. America gets the mighty M48 pattern. The French get the AMX30B, which is like the Leopard, and the Bat Chatillon 25T. The British get the FE422, which is going to soon be replaced by the Centurion Action 10. And for the Chinese, you get the 121, which is a big threat on the enemy fields, and the STB1 for the Japanese line. Now, the E50M doesn't suit into the playstyles, and I'll see why. Because a lot of the other medium tanks, they're lightly armored, they have really good guns, and they have mobility. And not of FE422, because FE422 has a speed cap. But the E50M is special in its own way compared to the other tanks, because it keeps the German traits, which is high health and big size. And don't forget, even though it's big, it pretty much has a big power to weight ratio, which is amazing compared to an FE422. FE422 has the highest, but it doesn't get to the same speed as the E50M does, which is amazing. Like, just look at the size. You get a FE422, which is around. Okay, we'll get that patch outside. You see the patch in the back. Yep. Your commander's cupola up to there. E50M sort of the same size, but the turret's a lot bigger. So E50M, I'd suggest if you wanted a one of a kind tier 10 medium tank. Get E50M. It's an amazing tank, and it's unique in its own way compared to the other tier 10 mediums, because the Leopard and AMX30B, they're pretty much the exact same tank. The Russians, they're all pretty much the same, except the 430 just gets a better DPM. The M48 is sort of like the FE422, and the STB is sort of like the Leopard 1 as well. E50M is unique in its own way, and this is one thing I like about it, just being unique on the battlefield. So, let's get into the stats. Now, it has 2050 hit points, which is the highest for all tier 10 mediums. It beats the even the i7 just has 100 more hit points, which is pretty much saying something. It weighs 62 tons with my current loadout, but it can weigh up to 67 tons as its weight limit. It has a brake horsepower of 1,200. Holy moly, this thing has power. It has the same engine as the E100, and that thing weighs 130 tons. Going to the FE422, FE422 weighs 20 tons less, and it has at least, if I get my math correctly, 390 less brake horsepower in its engine. So that is saying something about E50M. This thing can get off the line, but it's not as fast, but it has the power to do anything. Let's go into top speed, which is 60 kilometers per hour. Beats the FE422 by 20, but isn't the fastest. But if it's quite fast for what it is for its size. Next, going to the traverse speed, which is 44 seconds, which is... Sorry, I'm going to keep clicking between the FE422 and this thing. Do you know what? I'm going to make it go so that it's only tier 10s I see. This, okay, the 422 has 6 more traverse speed over it, which is 6 degrees more traverse speed, which isn't that great. We get to armor after. For the top traverse speed, it's 30, which isn't that bad actually. You're just gonna have to be a bit careful. The turret isn't as fast, but it is something you can deal with. Now the base view range is 400 meters, but I got mine up to 475, and I'm still trying to train up the cruise so it can be a lot higher. Signal range is 720 basic, and the top the current signal range I have now is 785, which isn't that bad either. So considering signal range isn't that big of a deal in water tanks, unless you're allowed here. So now we get to the part of what makes this tank tick, which is the armor of the tank. Now the armor is 150 at the front of the hull, and look at that sloping. Just go to what GG, I think, whatever, I forgot what the website was called. I'll put it in link in the description. But we see how effective the armor is. So 150 at that slope, which is amazing. 80 side and 80 rear, not great, but you can actually get some miraculous bounces off the back because it's also sloped at sort of the same angle, just a little bit steeper. Yeah, a little bit steeper. Now turret armor 185mm thick, considering, but it is flat, so be warned. We just had this nice gun mantle, so you can start bouncing off shots if you hit it. 80 side, 80 rear, not big of a deal. Remember, your medium tank armor isn't a great of a thing, but this thing has armor compared to the other tanks, except the turret armor is worse. But the the whole armor, if you do it correctly, it will perform miracles. Now going to the gun. Now this gun is probably one of my favorites. We get the Royal Ordnance gun out as well. I want to compare it because they got some similarities between them. So going to the E50M on with the 10.5 centimeter Quack L52 Alsuf K gun, along against the 105mm Royal Ordnance L7A1 from the FE422s and Centurion. As you see, they're the same caliber gun. So let me just put this together. They have the same caliber gun, which is 105mm. The reload on the FE422 is greater, 6.98 against 6.25. But what the E50M does have against it is 2 more millimeters of penetration, and this gun is more reliable, I'd say. The E50M's gun is a lot more reliable for me. I played a lot more. Both have an average damage of 390. The E50M has a 0.3 dispersion at 100 meters, and the 422 has a 0.32. Now you'd be thinking, there's so much big of a difference, but when you're in tier 10 mediums and you're sort of on the move shooting or sniping, that 0.02 can make a big difference. 2.2 aim time for both, and the Quack gun is nearly more than twice as heavy. The shells are different. The E50M carries the APCR as standard, high explosive anti-tank as its premium, and high explosive for second. FE422 gets hash for both premium and regular HE. So the thing is, I've played both FE422 and E50M, but I prefer the E50M a lot more, just because it's it has everything I want in it in the tank. It's got the armor, it's got the speed, it's got a reliable gun which can cause a lot of damage if you know how to use it correctly. And find the turret's bullshit. Okay, let's get to this bad things out of it. The turret is complete crap. If you don't angle this thing correctly, you can just get penned completely through the front and you'll be able to rage quit. Don't rely on the turret too much. I say keep peeking out in and out of corners, so you can get the best out of this tank. And I'll be showing you a replay where I did 5k damage in this tank, and I was so happy, just because this tank is one of my best tanks I've ever driven. The test server, when I drove this thing, I loved it instantly. Yeah, this thing, I'd say, actually, you know, let's look for the grind, and I'll tell you sort of why it's worth the grind anyway. So you can go through this line in, I think it's one or two ways. You can go through this line in one way. Is it one way? Yeah, you can only go through this tank one way. Before you could do two, which was go to Panzer 3-4, VK, get to the Panther, etc. But now it's different. So the way you want to get this tank is you load tractor, yeah, Panzer 2, yeah, Panzer 3A, yeah, DW2. Let's get to tier 5. The VK 3001H. This is an alright tank. When it got buffed, when it got nerfed from a medium tank to a heavy tank and lost its speed, everyone said it was complete shit. When I tried it out, it was an amazing tank. For tier 5, it's a very nice tank overall. Let's go on to the VK, the Mini Panther. An amazing tier 6 tank. This thing is a legend at tier 6. If you meet one of these, you better be afraid. The armor on that thing is pretty insane, and the gun on it is just amazing. It can do a lot of things that other medium tanks can't do. Next we get to the Panther, probably one of the worst tanks in the game apparently, but I enjoyed it a lot. The gun on it is substantial and is amazing. I love the gun on this thing. If you want a great gun, I highly suggest you go for the Panther. It has, I think, the highest penetration. Let's just check the gun. It's got a long 75mm gun, 198 penetration, which is the same as a T-32, and has a great rate of fire. So Panther is an amazing tank for tier 7. Panther 2 is a so-so tank. It took me quite a while to actually understand how this tank works. It was sort of like, yes and no. At first it was like an amazing tank, I loved it so much, but then before that it was just a horrible grind. You can see you'd have to pretty much unlock the tracks to get this famous 88mm gun, and it was a pain in the ass. Using that long 75mm gun in a tier 10 game was just not cutting it. So the grind on that was a bit horrific. Next we get to the best, one of my best tier 9 tanks in the game, the E50. I enjoyed this tank a lot. It was one of my favorite tanks in the game at tier 9. There's quite a bit of tier 9 tanks, and actually I have to say E50 was pretty nice. It pretty much has the E50M characteristics, but it doesn't have the armor value as much. The front armor isn't as sloped as it is on E50M. Thomas, or I can't remember, messaging me. I'll respond to him after. So you get a 105mm and you get 88mm. The 88mm I preferred just because I think it had better rate of fire and it had a better DPM. And I'm gonna say, if you go for this tank, go for the 88mm. If you want to get like a more punchy gun, I say go for the 105mm. And then you go to E50M. So the grind for this tank, totally worth it. If you want a tank that's unique in its own way, has decent armor, and pretty much performs very well in a lot of circumstances, the E50M is for you. Now going on to equipment, I put myself on colored optics, vertical, not vertical, what was it? Improved ventilation, and a gun rammer. Just so you can get the better rate of fire in this tank, because it does lag compared to other tanks, but it still has a great gun. Optics, just so you can get a better view range. Consumables I've put for your repair kit, first aid kit, and your automatic fire extinguisher. Warning, German tanks do tend to be set on fire quite easy, so you're going to need a fire extinguisher. Crew, I don't browse the notes first. Commander, Sixth Sense, repairs, and jack of all trades. Because because of this, as in all tanks, the crew's mainly sat into the turret. Now, if remember, your turret's very weak compared to the front, so if that gets shot, most of your crew members are going to die. If you heal your commander, it's just going to make it a lot easier for you, so you don't have to micromanage your crew. For the gunner, I put Deadeye, because you want those module hits. Like, getting an armor would be very nice. Repairs again, and armor. For your driver, get Snapshot, I think. Oh no, yeah, Smooth Ride. If when you're on the move, let's see, you got an accurate gun as it is, and if you're on the move and you're shooting this thing, it's an amazing feeling. I also got off-road driving, just because terrain resistance can be a complete troll into the game. Next, for radio play, I got situational awareness, so you can get that view range up. Repairs, I didn't want to go for signal range improvement, so I went for camouflage, just so I can get that camo value of a sniper. Going on to my loader, I got Adrenaline Rush, because when you're in a middle of a fight, and people tend to shoot you more because you have the most armor and you're sort of like the helpful of your team. So when you're on low health, Adrenaline will just kick in and give you a nice reload so you can pummel your enemies to the ground. Got repairs as well, and I've got myself safe storage, which I'm training up now because this armor rack does get blown off quite a bit if you don't angle it correctly. So that's sort of the basics of the E50M. Is it worth the grind? Hell yeah, it is. It's an amazing tank. If you want to get a unique tank, this is the one for you. Now, without further ado, let's get into the replay of a game I actually had last week of this tank, and you see the good, the bad of this tank, maybe even the ugly. Well, I'll see you in that game replay. So I've just downloaded the game replay. If you want to check it out, replay for yourself, I'll put a link in the description on mywhatreplays.com. So as you can see, that we from experiment tells us we have a 37% chance to win, and at first I thought I was gonna die. I'm teamed up with my mates from the clan, Zerbia and Jay. Great guys to team up with. I can rely on them so much. So yeah, 37% win rate, 37% chance to win the game, and I was trying to put my best A game on the whole game. So tier 10 game, because I'm in a tier 10 tank. 3 R2s on each side, which is nice. R2 is always a nice thing. And we're playing on Kharkov. And great, my replay seems like it doesn't want to work. Okay, it's working now. Okay, so let me just put this on to full screen because it's always nice to be on full screen. Okay, so oops, swing web players. So oops, ooh, that was a bit too fast. So let me just edit this as well. Okay, so tier 10 game, there's quite some evil tier 10s, 50B, E100, bad chats, ultra 140s, stuff you don't really want to meet. So as you can see, it's not that bad. Me, platoon, we're just going on to this corner, see what we can do, and instantly see ultra 140. Now, me and Big Mouth about accuracy in the preview or the review about the tank, but I didn't. Even though I was aiming my shots, ultra 140 can be a bit of a troll tank to be against. And I wasn't aiming at the right spots either. As you can see on the 1 and 2 line, you see bad chats, like overhead, bad chats Lorraine E50 just pushing us. At this point, only Zerbia found out that they were pushing, and he just told me just right now that we got a problem on our backs. So I said, you know what, you and Jay, or you on your own, try and deal with the problem, and I'm going to try and get some nice juicy side shots. Zerb said, fuck it, and I'm going to join you guys, I don't want to die. So, fixed view again, see 399 damage, quick snapshot on the move, or sort of on the move, and I decided, no, I'm just going to move up. Now, I think the reload on my tank is 6.17 seconds, so not that bad. No, not 6 point like something else. Okay, so the SU-11 wants to peek out again. Got a nice damage on him. Okay, so fix hammer view again. So get nice moment to get behind a Yak Tiger, and I just started farming damage. You see, the rate of fire on this tank isn't that bad. It's pretty adequate. So as you can see, we're winning 4-3, and we have a 1000 health pool advantage. T28 took one shot from him. It wasn't necessary, but luckily he was not using the big gun. He was just using sort of I think the small gun, E100, and I think Jay just died by a bad chap. You can see that huge corner around here. Okay, so I won't try and take on this E100, but he's gonna be a problem because 750 alpha, no thank you. And at this moment I just realized Jay was getting surrounded by bad chats, and I wanted to do something about it, but I was too late. Get a nice shot into the bad chat on the side, and then you see one of the other bad chats is running away. So I'm trying to get a my shot, and boom, 450. That's a nice high roll on this gun. So E100 is behind me, bad chat's running away like a little prick, and I decided screw the bad chat and the Lorraine, and I want to try and help my team win the main fight. So E100's pretty low health, I think. He's on pretty high health. I'm just checking my back, see if anything's there. Do a stupid shot. At that moment I thought I killed my teammate, and I was just so worried, but I didn't. I just saw CC, so the 50p killed him. Get another nice shot into the back of this E100 and basically try and pin him in this area. Get another nice shot into the back. I'm getting pretty high rolls on this gun. So 20 seconds and he's gone. Now I've got 50p and 2 bad shots to worry about, and at this point I began to be worried because the 2 bad shots on the enemy team are pretty good. They have a decent WNA, especially the one from EXTU. So I decided 1 bad chat's alone and the other one's alone as well. I'm going to try and take out this bad chat that's in front of me. Thought he would still be there, didn't spot him. And I can't take a couple of shots because I haven't taken that much damage. Just aiming on that corner, so if he ever pokes again, he can get killed. So, still only on this bad chat, and my reload marker told me he was reloading, but then I began to believe it. He started running away. Get a shot into him, run, and I'm like, I need to start getting vengeance for my team. He killed Lorraine. I think he was on very low health. And there you go, 102 health, bye bye. All that's left is a bad chat and a Lorraine. And I was wondering, should I cap or not? So I said, no, I'm not going to cap. Maybe still cap for a bit, pull him out, but I decided to take the risk and go for the fight. The 100 is on 600 health, I need to try and protect him. Ice was capping, at this point some pressure on the cap. And poor E100 is about to get flanked. See the bad chat there, and I decide, you know what, he's not aiming at me, he's busy aiming at the Icefall behind. Still getting shots into Icefall, and I think he needed one more shot, and yep. At this point I knew I can take a couple of shots from him, he's not going to be much of a problem. Try to go in for the ram. Yeah, this thing's pretty heavy, you can ram pretty easy. So 5,200 damage into the game, it's pretty much won. Lorraine ain't going to be doing much. And I was about to say, can I please get Top Gun, but you know what, I'm not a selfish player. I did it for the team, fine, got 5 kills, I need to earn Top Guns. I just don't... There was that point where everyone said, you know what, you have to claim your Top Guns. If you have 5 kills, you have to say, it's my Top Gun. Jay and Zervio were saying, let E50M get Top Gun, but I didn't really mind. So there you go, let's get to the post-game stats. So here are the post-game stats of my game. 71,000 credits earned, along with 3,000 XP for my times first win of the day. Got my second class mastery, you'll be surprised, 5,000 damage, not a second class mastery. Bit weird. Bruiser, damage enemy vehicles at least 5 times in the battle. Duelist, damage to modules, destroy at least 2 enemy vehicles that cause damage to your vehicle in the battle. Fighter, destroy 4 or 5 enemy vehicles in one battle. 5 effect, cause more damage to enemy vehicles than hit points of your vehicle, which I most certainly did. And of course got a high caliber. For damage I came top of my team, along with an Icefall who just came at 2,800. Enemy team got the 50B for 4,200 damage, and then you got the bad chats coming in around 3,000. XP got the most as well, and their bad chats did, I have to say, their bad chats and 50B, they put up a big fight, and that's what sort of lost us the game. Detail report, 20 shots fired, 16 out of 15, 16 shots hit, 15 actually did damage. Obviously 5 hits, 4 of them penned and 1 bounce. As you see, the armor isn't as great. Because a lot of people, like, as you saw in that replay, I was a bit too aggressive and I kept showing my side armor, so I did get hit quite a bit. But if you reserve your health and early game, you can become a monster at the end game, because mostly because you have the DPM, and most tanks near the end are basically tanks who either need to reload a long time or are heavily armored and have slow reloads. So this thing can just come in, clear up, and just win the fight for the tank. That's what my armor was 390, I blocked 1 shot, yay, did that. Don't rely on the armor too much, it's not as reliable, but it can perform miracles. What else I do? Destroy, okay, aiming for cause damage and destroyed. I damaged 7 tanks and I destroyed 5 of them. Distance traveled, I did, I think that's in kilometers, 2 kilometers, 2.46 kilometers, which isn't bad. In a 6-minute battle, and I got that much damage. It shows the E50M is pretty awesome in its own way. So, as you see, ammunition can, okay, one thing I have to actually clear up to you guys is the ammunition can be a big problem. This thing takes up a lot of money. What I found out was, the less shots you fire and you're in a game and you die, the more credits you'll lose. The more damage you do in the game, the more credits you will earn. Luckily I had a premium account, I got 31,000 credits. If I didn't, I would have still earned 7,000, which isn't that bad. So you gotta keep your damage game up in the E50M. This tank is not for stackers, you gotta put your effort into the tank. So, that was the E50M, guys. If you enjoyed the replay and review, please hit that like button, it shows me your support. Please subscribe so you can get some more content. If you tell me in the comments what you want to see next. What tank review do you want to see next in my channel? And remember to put your cute questions for the Q&A next week. It will be greatly appreciated. So guys, that was the E50M in water tanks. Worth the grind? Hell yeah. It's unique. It's an amazing tank and I absolutely love it. So, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a nice day and I hope you really enjoyed the video. And I will see you on the next one. See ya.